J-Bone here, and it is time to preview and predict the 2024 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix at Imola that could easily feature some huge surprises as pretty much every team is bringing car upgrades. J-Bone! First things first, as always, we need to get on the same page with regard to all the different names involved with this Grand Prix. Why? The most confusing F1 race is easily the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. For starters, the official name is the longest official name on the entire Formula One calendar, that name being the Formula One MSC Cruises Gran Premio del Made in Italy e dell'Emilia Romagna 2024. That's a mouthful. And while obviously nobody refers to the Grand Prix by its official name because it's so long, most people don't even refer to the race by its shortened name, the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, either. The race is most commonly referred to as Imola, with some people even going so far as to call it the Imola Grand Prix. It's referred to as Imola because that is both the name of the city in the Italian region of Emilia Romagna in which the Grand Prix takes place, and also the nickname for the circuit in Imola at which the Grand Prix takes place, the official name for which is the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. Now, this circuit used to be called Autodromo Dino Ferrari, and before that, it was called Autodromo di Imola, but again, now it's most commonly referred to as just Imola. To make matters even more confusing, if that is even possible, the Imola circuit used to host the San Marino Grand Prix from 1981 through 2006, despite the fact that San Marino is an entirely different country landlocked by Italy that's over an hour's drive away from Imola. I hope that cleared things up, but I fear you may now be more confused than ever. The Emilia Romagna Grand Prix race weekend starts this Friday, May 17th, which will feature Free Practice 1 and Free Practice 2. Saturday, May 18th will consist of Free Practice 3 and qualifying, and Sunday, May 19th will consist of the Grand Prix. This will be the first running of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix since 2022, when the podium was Max, Checo, Lando, as last year's race was canceled due to devastating flooding in the region. Here are 3 Imola fun facts ahead of this weekend's F1 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Fun fact number 1, Imola is seen as one of Ferrari's 4 home circuits alongside Monza, which hosts the Italian Grand Prix, and Mugello and Fiorano, which are Ferrari test circuits. Ferrari and Max Verstappen are a lot alike in that they both have a ton of home circuits, with Max's 3 home circuits being Zandvoort, Spa, and the Red Bull Ring, as he is a Dutch and Belgian Red Bull driver. I must note, though, that Ferrari and Max Verstappen are also not alike in that one of them wins a lot and the other does not. J-Bone! Side note, because of Imola's very close proximity to Faenza, Italy, where V-Carb F1 team's headquarters are located, Imola is also seen as the home circuit of V-Carb, which is pretty funny considering it literally has Ferrari in the name. Fun fact number 2, Imola is one of just 4 circuits on the current F1 calendar that contains only 1 DRS activation zone. Before I reveal the other 3, can you name them? The answers are the Circuit de Monaco, Japan's Suzuka Circuit, and Qatar's Lusail International Circuit. And fun fact number 3, if Max Verstappen does not win this weekend's Emilia Romagna Grand Prix at Imola, it will mark the first time that Max has lost back-to-back F1 races since July of 2022. Do you think that that's going to happen? Let me know in the comments. Go comment right now. By the way, if you're looking for a pair of sunglasses that are high quality and affordable, and who isn't, look no further than my sponsor, Goodr Sunglasses. The fine people at Goodr are revolutionaries who make the best sunglasses on planet Earth. Here is what makes their sunglasses so amazing. Goodr's sunglasses start at just $25, so they do not break the bank, and your day will not be ruined if you happen to lose them. All Goodr sunglasses are also 100% polarized, made of high quality yet lightweight materials, and specially designed to not slip or bounce while on your face. Because of all that, it should be no surprise that Goodr sunglasses have 50,000 plus 5-star reviews. They come in a ton of styles and colors, from fun like these to classic like these and these. So you're sure to find something that you'll love. If you want to support the show and try a pair for yourself, Goodr is giving Formula Bone listeners free shipping. You can go to goodr.com/fbone and use code FBONE for free shipping. Goodr offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Again, that's goodr.com/fbone and use code FBONE for free shipping. Next up, here's what a lap around Formula One's Imola circuit looks like. From the grid, there is a decently long run-up to the first braking zone, meaning there's a lot of space for drivers to gain positions if they get good releases at lights out. Turn 2 is the start of the Tamburello chicane, which includes turns 2 through 4. It used to be the high-speed Tamburello corner, where Ayrton Senna tragically passed away, which led to it being converted into a chicane for safety reasons. There's a non-DRS straight between the Tamburello chicane and the Villeneuve chicane, which includes turns 5 and 6. This chicane used to be the high-speed Villeneuve corner, where Roland Ratzenberger tragically passed away the same weekend as Ayrton Senna, which led to it also being converted into a chicane for safety reasons. The Tamburello and Villeneuve chicanes are kind of like deja vu chicanes, as they are really similar, both preceded by straights, and are one after the other. It's really easy to get them confused when you're watching the race on TV, so the easiest way to tell them apart is that Tamburello has one extra turn at the end of it. The Villeneuve chicane has a short straight after it that leads drivers to the Tosa hairpin, which drivers will want a good exit on as it turns into another effective straight that ends with the very tricky Piratella corner, turn 9, where you'll see drivers take a ton of curb as they try to maintain as much speed as possible before they get to the trickiest section of the racetrack, which contains the elevation changey Acqua Minerale that includes turns 11 through 13. This is then followed by an uphill climb to Variante Alta, the very tight right-to-left chicane where Charles Leclerc spun in 2022 while chasing Checo Perez. After another effective straight, you get to Ravazza, which includes the circuit's final 2 turns, which are both around 90 degrees. Ravazza should feature some very exciting full-send overtakes this year that are also quite advantageous for drivers, as the DRS detection zone is before Ravazza, meaning an overtake at Ravazza allows drivers to then create a gap to the car they just overtook down the circuit's 1 DRS straight. And that, folks, is a lap around Imola. Jibba! Next up, I only have one storyline to follow for the 2024 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and that's because this one storyline encompasses every Imola storyline. The Formula One upgrade wars have begun, and here's what you need to know. The most important F1 race of the season thus far is easily this weekend's Emilia Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. Why? Because it is the first European F1 race of the season, which means it is going to feature pretty much every team introducing big upgrades to their cars. If you're new to F1, teams are constantly upgrading their cars mid-season in an attempt to try and find some extra performance. Some teams, like McLaren, like to jump the gun for the reason that you just saw in Miami, but most teams will wait for the first European F1 race of the season to introduce their first big upgrade package. This is because teams have had sufficient time to learn the areas of their cars that need upgrading and to develop these upgrades, and because teams are all headquartered in Europe, so it's logistically easier to bring a big upgrade package to a race in Europe, especially considering these upgrades are often worked on until the very last minute. If one or more teams has managed to develop a magic bullet upgrade similar to McLaren's last 2 midseason upgrades, the Formula One pecking order could be completely shuffled as early as this weekend. And there's a very decent chance that happens because there are so many massive and potentially paradigm-shifting upgrade packages being introduced at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. The Imola upgrade with the most hype is far and away that of Ferrari. Ferrari came to play in 2024 with 6 podiums and a win through the first 6 races of the season and a race pace that has rivaled Red Bull on occasion. And with their Imola upgrades, Ferrari are hoping to not only erase the gains over them that McLaren achieved in Miami, but to take a bite out of the gap to Red Bull as well. Ferrari have gone for risky, big swing upgrades at Imola rather than safer, small ones, as they hope to immediately find a ton of performance on home soil in Italy, with their biggest upgrades being redesigned side pods and a new floor. But if they want to erase that gap to Red Bull, Ferrari need the upgrades that Red Bull themselves are introducing to be duds, which is not looking likely. I say that because Red Bull's Helmut Marko has recently said that he expects a lot from them at a race weekend where Red Bull are trying to reassert their dominance and avoid losing back-to-back races for the first time since 2022. As far as other big upgrades go, McLaren will be adding the rest of their upgrades to Oscar's car, as he only had a half upgraded car in Miami. Sauber are reportedly introducing an upgrade that will help them stop having the worst pit stops ever. Williams are introducing some big upgrades that they hope will propel them into the points for the first time this season, and that's not even all of them. This is going to be an awesome race weekend that could feature some big surprises, so strap in, folks. Next up, Formula 2 returns this weekend, and here is why you need to be paying attention to it. In case you didn't know Formula 2 was a thing, Formula 2, or F2, is the racing series right below Formula 1, and it is the main breeding ground for future F1 drivers. Unlike F1, F2 is a spec series where every team uses the same chassis and engine, so it's a driver-focused series rather than a car-focused one like F1. While this makes it way less top-heavy than F1 and levels the playing field substantially, it's still not a true level playing field all the way from top to bottom, as teams with more funding generally perform better as they can attract better drivers, afford more spare parts, and invest more in engineering car setups and race strategies. That being said, if you're someone who wants to see different drivers winning pretty much every race in 2024, Formula 2 is the place for you. We're currently 3 rounds into the 2024 F2 season, with each round featuring 1 sprint race and 1 feature race, and through the season's first 6 races, not only have there been 5 different winners, but not a single pole sitter has won a race yet. And F2 is not just fun to follow because it's so balanced, it's also fun to follow because you get to follow the F1 stars of tomorrow before they make it big. It's pretty much a sure thing that F2 drivers Ollie Bearman and Kimi Antonelli will both be on the F1 grid full-time soon, with Bearman already having driven for Ferrari earlier this season, deputizing Carlos Sainz, and Antonelli being rumored to replace Logan Sargent as early as later this season. And you could be ground floor fans of these potential future F1 world champions by simply starting to follow F2 right now as it returns this weekend in Imola. So what are you waiting for? Set your alarms for this weekend's F2 sessions. Shout out to my amazing longtime sponsor, Indeed, which is the best hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one convenient place. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed is a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. Some things I love about Indeed are that Indeed makes hiring all in one place so easy, because their hiring platform matches you with quality candidates instantly. And also, Indeed empowers you to hire for a job or find a job, making it a one-stop shop for employment opportunities. Indeed is truly an unbelievably powerful hiring platform, and it's the #1 source of hires in the US according to Talent Nest. Whether you're hiring for a job or searching for one, you need Indeed. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/FBone. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/FBONEFBone and support the show by saying you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/FBone. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. Here are my 3 bona fide race predictions for this weekend's Formula 1 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. My first race prediction is that the podium will consist of 1 Red Bull, 1 Ferrari, and 1 McLaren, just like it did in Miami. At the last race in Miami, F1 looked more balanced across the top 3 teams in the Constructors' Championship than it has in a very long time. While the effects of Red Bulls and Ferraris' impending upgrades remain to be seen, unless one of them takes an absolutely massive leap forward, I like the podium to once again consist of 1 representative each from Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren. My second race prediction is that Williams will score their first points of the season at Imola. Williams were one of last season's star teams, but they are definitely not one of this season's star teams, as they failed to score a single point through the first 6 races of 2024. Also, at one point, they only had 1 car, which is crazy. However, I think their disappointment streak ends this weekend. Williams are bringing a big upgrade package to Imola, like many teams, but unlike many teams, James Vowles has proven in the past that his upgrades can be absolute game changers, so I cannot wait to see them in action. James Vowles is a pragmatic dude, very smart guy, and I think he saved his biggest upgrades for after the back-to-back sprint weekends of China and Miami so that he could maximize them during Imola's practice sessions for a big Grand Prix result. My final race prediction is that Mercedes will not have a car finish in the top 6 at Imola. Mercedes have been massively disappointing this season, to the point where it's like legitimately crazy to think that they won 8 Constructors' Championships in a row not that long ago. Through the season's first 6 races, Mercedes have still managed to finish in the top 6 in 4 of them, but I think they do not finish in the top 6 at Imola. Despite the fact that they're also bringing upgrades like everybody else, Mercedes have proven that they still don't understand their car enough for me to think their upgrades put them ahead of the upgraded Red Bulls, Ferraris, and McLarens. And finally today, here's my prediction for the 2024 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix top 5 finishers with zero reasoning nor explanation. P5, Carlos Sainz. P4, Checo. P3, Charles Leclerc. P2, Lando Norris. P1, Max Verstappen. Leave a comment with your 2024 Imola race predictions so I can judge them. But before you comment, remember to subscribe and then help me get this video to 1,500 likes by tossing in a like. If you do that, YouTube will like me better. Special shout out to my top YouTube channel members: Joe Max's #1 hater Snow, Brian Linton, Wolfslows Racing, Waffleophagus, and David Haig. Mash that join button just below this video to get your name shouted out right here in future videos, as well as a bunch of other awesome perks. Until my Imola recap, folks, J-Bone! J-Bone!